there's one thing I learned from observing this females that came before me. I mean, they are the inspiration, right? They are always so confident. I love their confidence. Like when they stand in front of the men in the room, they never give you that as an aspiring, as an upcoming researcher and as a young student, maybe in your undergrad and all, they never give you a reason to doubt your place in the room.
Welcome to another episode of SA Science Spotlight podcast. So today I'm gonna be your host. Londo is not here. I'm taking her seat. Londo, I'm finally here sitting by your spot. Anyway, welcome to our sixth episode of SA Science Spotlight podcast. My name is Clinton Dlamini. Today we are joined. This episode actually gives me so much excitement because Tepo, last episode we were speaking about not having a female guest. Finally, we are joined by a female who is in science. This is very exciting for me. I really can't wait to hear so much from Katlego Mogamisi, who is currently doing a master's in astrophysics. Has an interesting journey, did her undergraduate at University of Western Cape, went to do her honors degree at University of Cape Town, currently moved to University of Pretoria doing her astrophysics. Katlego, you are actually the first female guest in our podcast. How do you feel?
Good day, everyone.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that, honestly. I didn't know that I will be the first female.
Yeah.
That's new information, and I am happy to be one. Thank you.
Thank you for your time, man. We really appreciate. I know you're very busy. Doing your postgraduate takes too much time of everybody, but we just want to thank you for taking your time to just sit down with us, just to give us a bit of your journey. Tepo, any words before we start?
Yes, man, I'm very excited about this episode. Katlego, she's the best first female guest that we could have ever asked for. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm excited about this episode. Katlego, she's doing amazing things. She has a lot of outreach programs that she's doing. As you said, she's doing one of the amazing fields, astronomy and astrophysics. So there's a lot to learn from her today. There's a lot to hear about her journey as a student. So I'm excited about this.
Nice. Katli, obviously, I would like to hear about your upbringing, where you're from, how did you find yourself to be in Pretoria at the moment, coming from UCT, University of Western Cape. But just can you tell us about your upbringing? Where are you from? Do you have any siblings? A bit of your background.
Yeah, so I'm originally from a village called Kunwana in Northwest, and my childhood was smooth, if I can say. My mom is a single parent, but I never felt that I was raised by a single parent. I had everything, and I never really felt that void that there was another parent that's not in the picture. And yes, I have siblings. I have a big sister and a big brother. I'm the last born. They usually say we're spoiled, but
Obviously, yeah.
no, I'm not spoiled.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And my mom is a teacher, if I may say, but so her being her, she's inspirational. So growing up, she was motivational. She always made us feel like we can be anything we want, we can do anything we want, and we can be strong. So from watching her growing up, I learned that anything is possible, and I learned different values in life. I learned that as a parent, you need to protect your children. You need to work hard for what you want. You need to put in the effort and do what you want. She taught me that anything is possible. Growing up, she always now and again shared her story of how she got to where she is, and it's not an easy journey. So every time I want to do something and I have doubts, I will always remember her words and remember her journey and her story to say no. My mom taught me that you can do anything you put your mind to. The challenges are just challenges. You face them and then you move on. And and growing up, I was rather introverted, if I may say. I didn't have a lot of friends, so I can't really say much on that part. And my sister didn't grow up with us. She grew up here in Gauteng, while me and my brother we were with my mom back in the village. And my brother was outgoing, he was never around. So I pretty much grew up just with my mom. I think that's probably the reason why we have such a strong bond,
Oh,
because it was just me and her. She was,
You know, I just want to give a big shout out to your mom. I think she played, like the way you're saying it, I just want to give her a big shout out. She played a huge role in your upbringing. I think you are where you are because of her, like you said. Whoever, I don't know her name, but mommy, we thank you so much for doing so much good job. So, wait, you said your mom, she's a teacher. Uh, is she also in science or is different streams?
primary school.
Oh,
So
primary,
we
yeah.
can't really say
Oh, yeah.
science or not science in primary
so
school,
is
right?
there any how your upbringing like influenced your choice of going into science?
Uh, like helping a teacher?
Like just generally,
Just
like was
general.
there other people maybe who you were looking up to?
I think my journey to science was influenced by my love for math. So all the way from grade three, my love for math started in grade three, honestly, like a point where I realized that I love this. It was numeracy back then. But
Remember.
yes, and my numeracy teacher was my mom
Wow.
in grade three.
Wow.
And I loved math. Like, I think not only with me, but with a lot of people who did grade three under her. I think many people can vouch for her. She's a good math teacher. It's not because she's my mom, but she's a good math teacher. She's good with laying the foundation with that subject. And since grade three, which then was numeracy, I've always loved math. And luckily, from then to grade to like intermediate phase for grade 4, 5, 6, I also had a very great teacher, Mr. Marakile. He's also like they are the two math gems of that school. And they still are. Well, Mr. Marakile still is, but my mom just retired a month back too. So I guess now it's only one and not two anymore. But probably the new teachers are also strong, right? Just I don't know them. Yeah. So and going from there, going to grade seven, I also met a wonderful. I don't know if I had a thing for math teachers, but I also met a wonderful math teacher, Mem Shopani, and I mean she was also wonderful. She always, as a child, being praised for for what you did also kind of gives you more confidence. So she always just made sure that she's like, you girl, you're doing great. Like this is your thing, you know. So that also kind of helped build up, and just them being them and being the inspiration, making this math journey easy, and just being there for me. They always just kind of adopted me. I don't know. And not only did I like math teachers, but math teachers always kind of adopted me and just put me close to them, motivated me. And that went on all the way till grade 12. Grade 9, I had a different math teacher. He was also great. High school, same thing. And I think that love for math and them always just motivate me. And throughout this whole motivation, they always made a point to tell me that I have the ability to be anything I want. And I shouldn't fear anything in this world. And they always challenged me with rather what we thought back then that are difficult careers. Like you can be. I remember one teacher wanted me to go into economics, right? Because I guess maybe economics is like close to math. Maybe that's why I was kind of excelling that as well. But he was like, no, I think you should do something in the commerce stream when you go to university. But that was like, no. I know I'm doing good in your subject, but no.
I'm going to
Yes, I'm going through science because that's the love I had for math. Going into high school now, you go into physics and all that. I realized that it goes beyond just math alone as a subject. It's a matter of problem solving. I enjoyed problem solving, and that like going back in lower grades, the math is like the center of that, right? It's like the yes, and then this other subjects like
nice.
So during your high school time, would you say you've never been influenced by friends, like the peer pressure? Because most of us, we choose the streams that, like I'm here today because of peer pressure.
maybe it's because of the motivation I had and the love I had for math and all the streams that I had, which were changing every month, but I still had dreams, right? Maybe it's because of that, but to me, it was more like a default thing that, okay, you're gonna do math. It was never a question that I'm gonna do physics and math, right? It was like a obvious. I mean, if not, why? Why not? There was no other choice, other option for me. And like I said, I didn't really have a lot of friends. I had one friend like grade 7 to 9, but I changed school. So now it became a distant friendship, which is still going strong even today. But other than that, I never really had a specific friend. Like during lunch, I'll just join whoever I see going to the shop to buy food and just walk with them.
So during those times,
So peer pressure was like
okay.
not really.
So during those times in your high school, like, did you have any career aspiration? Like, I want to be a doctor eventually. I want to be a mathematician.
You have no idea. Like I said, they changed a lot. I think the first dream or rather career that I inspired to be was a lawyer. And that was in grade 3. Yes, I wanted to be a lawyer. That was the first thing that I thought of in grade 3. And then while in grade 3, that changed from being a lawyer to being an astrophysicist, right? An astronomer, because at that the term astrophysicist was not to be an astronomer, and that one was kind of influenced. I think it was a dream that it's something that I liked, but I wasn't aware that I can actually be that until I came to Joburg. So in grade 3, they arranged a trip for us to come to the planetarium at Wits. And when I got there, that's when now everything became clear that no, man, look at this first sky, look at the sky. Like, and that person who was standing in front of us and doing the presentation just made everything easy and fall into place. Like, he himself is the inspiration behind many of the things that I do today. He's the inspiration behind me finally saying, actually, I want to do astrophysics. And he's the inspiration behind me doing outreach. He's the inspiration behind a lot of things that I'm doing today. So that's like a special day.
Wait, so the guy who gave you the inspiration was he doing like astro?
That's something that I don't know. I don't know him. I don't know what he's doing. That's the sad part. I have this guy, this person who's an inspiration, but I don't know him because I was in grade 3, right? And then we just went to a planetarium. You just see this person wearing a lab coat. He was wearing a white lab coat, which gave me a wrong idea. I thought astronomers were. Yes, and then I found out no, they actually don't. So yes, he just like the way he I didn't understand most of the things he said, but I enjoyed the view, right? I enjoyed the view, and I just loved his confidence, even though I didn't understand what he was saying. And I just loved seeing him in front of us. And right, while sitting there, I was like, no, I need I need to be the one standing there, right? I need to be the one standing there in front of people and telling them about this beautiful things that they're looking at, right? So that's when that was the first time now I wanted to be an astronomer. But that dream kind of down the line, I had a lot of dreams, right? Next thing I want to be a doctor. Next thing I want to be an engineer. Next thing I want to be a biochemist. But towards grade 12, like now you have to choose careers. I was hell bent on neuroscience. So I wanted to be a neurosurgeon. But there was still doubt in me. I didn't know why I'm doubting it, but I wanted to, but there was still something deep down that's like, are you sure? I didn't know why I was doubting it. And yeah, as you see, I didn't end up going that direction. And I ended up just applying for anything that was available there. I applied for metallurgical engineering, chemical engineering, natural medicine, medical bioscience. I applied for so many things in metric.
So your undergraduate degree was a BSc
BSc in physics.
in physics.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Was it just physics alone, or you
Just
majored?
physics alone.
It was not like double
Yeah,
major.
with UWC, at least when I was there, because things change, maybe things change now. But with UWC, it was just a single major, but you do have a secondary major, if I can call it. Just that it's not there on the degree, and it's not like the main major. So if you're doing BSc physics, you would choose between math, if it's gonna be physics with math until third year, or it's gonna be physics with chemistry until third year, or physics with computer science until third year. But that secondary one is not
Yeah,
like
I think it's the case for even where I'm from. My BSc was BSc in physics. In the degree, they write physics, but I
But you
majored
had-
with chemistry. So
Oh,
on my third year, I did BSc Physics and Chemistry. Yeah. So
I
yours
did
was with physics and
with math.
with
With
math.
math.
Ah, you
Yeah.
really loved math. I can see. Yeah, you
With
really
math.
did. Yeah.
So then you decided to go for physics in your honors at the UCT.
Oh, that one. So I think now I'm gonna like go back to the uh, career journey, choosing your careers. So now, after matric results come out, I decided to go do BSc. I mean, while I was applying, I didn't apply for astrophysics or astronomy.
Yeah.
That dream was like down hidden somewhere, right?
Yeah.
It was I had it when I was in grade 3, and then after that, it was hidden somewhere, and then I had all these other different dreams and aspirations. And then when I got to UWC in the first year, I think it was just second week of classes. I saw an advertisement of a bursary from SKA, and the bursary was for astro. So they were looking for BSc physics students and computer science students who are interested in astro and who wants to pursue astro going all the way to honors level. And right there, that was like, where did this dream hide? What happened to this dream, right?
And that's when it popped back in.
That's when it popped back. I was like, no, I think I'm here for a reason. Because if I look back, I actually didn't, I don't know how I ended up. Because all of these programs that I applied for, they said yes, come, right? And it was a lot of options from engineering to all of those things. But I chose to go to UWs and for a program that I didn't apply for. So when I applied in matric, I didn't apply for BSc Physics. I applied for medical bioscience at UWs, and then I took my sweet time to respond, and there was also complications in the process. And when I finally got back to them, they were like, "No, that program is full." I was like, "Okay, no, I've made up my mind that I'm coming to UW. So what do you have for me?" And then they were like, "There's space in BSc Physics." I was like, "Okay, I'm coming. I mean,
Yeah.
it's physics. It's not like you're saying there's
And
space in chemistry."
you had other admissions from other
I
institutions.
did. But I decided to go to UW for BSc Physics, which was
So from what I'm hearing, actually, which means you had great marks from your matric.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Most
fair,
definitely.
fair marks.
fair marks.
They were good.
Well, they were good enough to get me in all those degrees that I
Yeah,
applied for. Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, why I chose, if everybody came to me at that point and asked me, why did you choose to go to UWs for BSc Physics, which is something you didn't even apply for to start with, when you have all these options? I didn't have an answer. I didn't know why. Like, my heart and my soul just told me that, go to UWs, right? And then I just followed that. I was like, I was hell-bent on going to UWs. Why? I don't know. But when I got there, I felt like that was the reason why I went there. Today, I still feel like that was the reason why I had to go there. Just the universe, just God knew that if you go there, you will get the scholarship that will bring back a dream that you forgot, my child. You know, a dream that you no longer think about, but it's something that you still love. And then when I got there, I got that bursary, and that was the end of it. It was like, nope, this is it.
I'm doing this.
This is it.
Yeah.
I'm doing this. Astro it is, and nothing else. And yeah, that's how I got to where I am.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the transition to UCT, is it because UWC didn't have BSc honors in Astro?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So the transition to UCT, that was the main reason.
Yeah.
So then from then you went for your masters, which you came to UP, where we are right now.
Yeah.
So then, how has this transition been? Like, what was the decision behind it?
The one and only decision to come to UP was that I wanted to come closer to home. Cape Town is not here, right?
Very it's a foreign land.
And the flight tickets after COVID, they just became crazy.
Yeah,
Before COVID,
exactly.
coming home, flight tickets were not that expensive. You could get a flight ticket of like, what, 700?
Yeah.
But you can't right now, right?
Yeah. It's expensive now.
It's expensive. And also, probably something I never thought about, actually. I think maybe spending time at home also influenced deciding to be closer to home. Because now it was like, yeah, because the whole of COVID, I was at home, right? I spent 3 years, 2020, 21. Actually, 3 years at home. So now I was also kind of attached to home, right? So I decided to come closer, and that's when I chose UP. Because in Gauteng, the only 2 universities that could offer me what I was looking for, it was UP and Wits. And as much as I say I don't easily get influenced, I do get influenced by fear. Fear does influence me, right? But other things, no, they don't easily influence me. So my brother studied at a college in Gauteng, in like Joburg. Yeah, I think it was Braamfontein. I think the campus was in Braamfontein or something like that. And he experienced a lot of mugging.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they took his cell
It's
phones. They took his,
Joburg.
and then now thinking of this, I was like, no.
You're not going there.
Yes, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to experience that.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe Pretoria is
safer,
more
yeah.
safer. I mean, that wasn't a fact that I had, it was a thought that I had. I was just anticipating that Pretoria might be safer. And that was solely based on my brother's experiences. And yeah, the busyness of Gauteng was like, no. Right? Yeah, of Joburg, yes. It was like, no. Mm-mm. So that's how I ended up in UP and not at first.
Okay, Katlego, so we want to switch lanes and look into your outreach programs, the things that you do out there to help the younger people. So just share with us some of the things that you do. Yes.
Okay, so with outreach,
Yeah.
you remember my inspiration?
Yes.
Yes, my inspiration at the planetarium. He wasn't the only inspiration. So every time at high school and even like back to middle school, because I went to like primary, middle, and high. It wasn't just primary and high. And then every time there were guests at school, people who come and then like they are doctors, they are all these professionals, right? And they come and talk to us and inspire us. I was always inspired by those people. Like it was always like a dream, like, wow, you are actually that. So I think the inspiration from that is the reason why I always wanted to be involved in outreach, because it was like if they could influence me, I'm pretty sure that there are learners like me who also get influenced, who get inspired by those people coming to schools and talking to them, telling them about different careers. And I decided that I'm also gonna impact someone's life through that. I'm also gonna be involved in outreach, go to schools, talk to those learners. As much as you never reach the whole room, right? But you can always reach at least one or two, and that one or two matters. So that's the main reason I decided to do outreach, mostly for inspiration, because I was also inspired by those people who are doing outreach. They are doing great work.
So in your outreach, you go and you just give talks about science and all those.
So but it's obviously always tailored based on which grade are we going, which school, is it primary, is it high school, and the theme. There's always a theme, because sometimes the focus will be on space industry in general. Sometimes the focus will be solely on astronomy. So it all depends, but it's mostly about motivating them and telling them about careers in space. And we don't always limit it to that. We always try to say, even if you don't want to do astronomy, do like STEM is a great place to be. So we talk about STEM. We motivate them to do STEM careers, and every time we go to schools, we focus on trying to balance gender and race, to also motivate different learners from different backgrounds, to say, even if you are from a village and you are black and you are female and you are that tiny and cute, you can do it.
So, speaking of STEM, say somebody who's there in primary or high school doesn't know the term STEM. What is STEM in like short? What is STEM?
So STEM is like an umbrella, if I may say, that has engineering, science, mathematics, and technology under that, and that involves any degree, any field related to that: math, engineering, science, technology. That is STEM.
Okay. And how does it feel to be a woman in science? Like, do you feel like there's less women in science? And how does that, do you have any challenges around being in science as a woman?
I love that question. You know, every time I'm asked that question, I just think back to my journey, and I think I joined, at least, obviously my answer would be from a perspective of astro and not general, because I'm not really sure of the numbers and the balance in other
Yeah.
science
Yeah,
fields.
but I think
Right.
statistics is that there's less women in most
Statistics
fields.
is that
yeah.
there's less women
Yeah,
in
yeah.
most fields. There's probably less. There is for sure less women in astro. But when we're in a room, the difference between the numbers, as much as like the number says there's less, it's not really that standing, that clear. Like you get in a room, at least today with astro, you will see a lot of females. You won't even see that difference in the numbers to say there's more men, or at least I never see. I always see just a lot of women in the room and be inspired and be like, there's many of us in here, right? And I think, like I said, I was trying to say, I think I joined Astro at a point where they had already done a great job in recruiting women into Astro, because there's a lot of women in Astro, not as many as men, of course, but enough to say there is not, I wouldn't say like this shortage and all that, but going to undergrad, that is a thing, because I remember in like third year class and second year, it was only 3 of us females in class of like 17 or so. Right. So that one was a clear line to say there isn't many females in the science field. So in undergrad, it was clear, right, that there's just 3 of us in this whole big class. Right. But going up into postgrad, it wasn't. There's like, I think with Sereo and SAO, all those scholarships that are there, all those organizations that are trying to recruit women
Sereye
into.
is an NRF scholarship, right?
It's under NRF.
It's under NRF, okay. Yeah. Because I think I've seen it somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think with their efforts to recruit us females and Black South Africans, they have done a great job so far. So I'm at a point where in my field, at least when going to conferences and meeting people, that is no longer a big issue like before. Yeah.
Okay, so that you're an inspiration to many young people out there, young women in particular. So, like, what advice would you give them if they are hesitating to get into the STEM field, thinking that maybe this might be the field for men because it's dominated by them and so on?
You see, if there's one thing I learned from observing this females that came before me, I mean, they are the inspiration, right? They are always so confident. I love their confidence. Like when they stand in front of the men in the room, they never give you that as an aspiring, as an upcoming researcher and as a young student, maybe in your undergrad and all, they never give you a reason to doubt your place in the room, whether it's full of men or they never give you a reason. And I'm gonna say to the young people out there that there is no reason to doubt your place in the room. You can do whatever you want to do. You have the same capacity that all the men in the room have. It's a matter of studying, right? It's a matter of finding out information, researching, going out there and learning those things. And we all have the capability of learning. So you can do it. Don't doubt anything. Anything is possible.
Absolutely,
Anything is
absolutely.
possible.
So, who are some of your females who motivate you to always keep strong in the journey?
Yeah. You see, it's just a long list of them. But I will say specifically, I will name Mpati Ramatsuku. That's an astrophysicist as well, and from Rhodes, and she's from Kwakwa. I mean, a lot of them are inspirational to me. They are fighters, right? They all, like I said, they all stand there in conferences and they are confident and they all have interesting stories. Their stories are different, but they are all inspirational and interesting. So they all stand out, honestly. They all just like.
Okay, so Katli, you mentioned the first lady who inspires you. The second one?
The second one, we have Dr. Stabile Kolo. She's teaching at UJ. Yeah, she's also an inspiration. She has a lot of energy. I don't know, but every time I get in the room and I see her, I just smile. It's like she's one of those people at conferences who are always asking questions. Yes, and it's always another inspiration to say, you know what, I also want to be active in because right now I'm still at the beginning of my career, and I'm still at that stage where I question whether the question I want to ask is worthy of being asked, right? It's like, is that a relevant question? But she's that one inspiration that I'm like, I'm pretty sure this question matters as well, and I want to also be like her and just always ask questions. Obviously not unnecessary
Yeah.
ones, just an inspiration for me to get to a point where I can ask questions without doubting them.
Yeah. Is she also in astrophysics or different
Yes,
field?
she's in astro.
Okay.
She's in astro, so yeah, all those females that I'm looking for, they are in astro. Well,
Nice.
mostly, not
Yeah.
all of them.
Any last one?
Yeah, we have Michelle Losna, and he's at UW. She's at UW. Sorry for that. And she's like a, how do I put this, guru of machine learning. Yes, yes. So she's also an inspiration because she brought this machine learning into, she's the reason why we are where we are in astro with machine learning. She's an inspiration.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, in Astro, like there is a lot of programming going on there. Yes, I know. I know that you're good when it comes to Python programming, which is one of the most great programming languages because I think machine learning. I think they utilize a lot of Python, right? So, like, what role does it play in the astronomy and astrophysics?
Very important. It's very important. I'm not gonna lie. So I mean, with astro, we deal with big data. Our telescopes are collecting large data sets, like terabytes of data, and it's data that you can't personally go there and just work on yourself. Otherwise, you're gonna take the whole 3 year of a PhD degree just trying to make sense of the data itself, just trying to clean the data and all that. So machine learning and coding is very important to us because that's where now we use Python programming language, and that's what we use to clean the data. That's what we use to program our telescopes, because you need to control the telescope, right? You need to tell it point where and collect data there. You need programming for that to control the telescopes, and we also need Python to analyze the data because it's big data, like I said. Otherwise, it's gonna take like long time for us to just make sense of one collection, you know. And machine learning is making the life easier because they just training it to help us with like source finding and selection and characterizing our radio galaxies. And I'm speaking from a personal experience, like without coding and without machine learning, astronomy will be a pain. I think I will just change careers.
Oh, okay. So,
Because
but then astronomy and astrophysics, I think they've been around for some time.
they have, yes.
So, but then the machine learning and everything, they just started rising now.
So with the recent telescopes, remember even telescopes, there was like few back then. We only had one telescope, and they were focused on maybe one source. Maybe they just pointed to the center of the Milky Way. They didn't collect a lot of data, so they could analyze the data. But right now with our telescopes and the advancement in astronomy, we collect massive data. So now we have big data set that doing it with hand it's going to be crazy. I mean, for just to touch a little bit on my work, my project. So I have images that I use of galaxy clusters. So a galaxy cluster, just for someone who might not know it, is a collection of galaxies. So it's a cluster of
Okay.
galaxies.
So galaxies
Like,
are just like stars, right?
no.
Not but no.
You know what? I want to disturb you guys, man.
Yeah.
Say for example, I'm a student or high school learner, I'm in matric. I hear you guys are talking about telescope, radio galaxy, galaxy cluster. Can we just have like a brief? What is astronomy? Like, what is astronomy all about? What do you do as in astrophysics? Before we start talking about the radio clusters, yeah. What is
Start from
astro?
the-
Yeah, like what is astrophysics? Like just say I'm just there, I'm confused, I'm looking for a career, and I hear this young lady speaking about radio galaxies, telescope. It fascinates me. I want to know what is this astrophysics about.
Okay, so astrophysics, in a simple and straightforward definition, is the study of everything outside our planet. everything outside the Earth's atmosphere. If it's the study of the celestial objects from the neighboring planets, so the sun, everything outside our planet, that is astronomy.
Nice. Wait, is Elon Musk related to astrophysics? What is the SpaceX that is doing? Is that related?
I believe that he's trying to fulfill what the astrophysicists
Oh, they're doing.
yeah, they're doing.
Because the guy is so fascinated about going to Mars.
To Mars,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
I don't know why he's fascinated.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then now I have a question. Like, what's the objective of astronomy? Like, what are you trying to achieve?
I think that the primary thing and the simplest definition is to understand the universe, to understand the evolution, how the stars come about, how the galaxies come about, how the whole structure, where are we in this whole universe, what's our place in it, and what's like how does everything like evolve relative to one another. So understanding the universe, that's like the main objective.
Makes
Yeah.
how easy it is to get into astrophysics. Like I said, if I'm someone who's in high school doing my matric, I want to get into astrophysics. What are the levels required? Where do I start? Like, do you have to go the route you did with the BSc in physics first?
That's one of the ways, but not the only way. So firstly, you need your math and physics from high school. So that will be the first step. You need to take physics and maths in grade 10. Yeah, grade 10, 11, 12. And then from there, going to university, you either do a straight PSc astronomy and astrophysics program, or you can do any STEM related degree. It can be BSc physics, it can be BSc, whichever BSc or any or engineering, any STEM related degree, you can do that. And then at UCT, UKZN, and Northwest University, they have a program called NASP, and that offers a bridging course. If you don't have like background in astro, they give you have to do honors over 2 years. So the first years will be a bridging course. You get the basics of astronomy, and then the second year you do the mainstream honors. But if you did BSc astrophysics and astronomy, or you did a STEM degree but you had astronomy introduction, like or at UWC, they don't have BSc astronomy, but they do offer an astronomy course as an elective. So that gives you the basics that you need. Then you can do a straight 1 year course honors with NASP at either UCT, KZN, or NWU.
So, okay, you want to ask that, Tapo?
Okay, so back to your research, Katli, your master's degree. Can you just share with us the objectives of your research and what have you found so far? Like, we're interested because I know that you recently submitted your master's, which is wonderful, very wonderful. Soon you'll be wearing that gown.
Yeah, I will be wearing that gown. Thanks for mentioning that. I actually never attended any of my graduations, so this
Why is
this
that?
one will mean a lot. COVID complications.
Oh, okay,
It
yeah.
is, yeah.
But this one we definitely
This
attended.
will be my
Definitely.
first one.
Wow.
Definitely.
I can imagine how you're gonna
I
be
should.
feeling.
Full force. I mean, I
Yeah.
just missed 2.
Yeah.
I can't miss the third one.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So with my research, in the I'm trying to put it in simple words. So when we're studying the universe, mostly we collect light with telescopes, right? But not everything out there can be detected with the technology that we have right now, with the telescopes that we have right now. Some of the elements there, which one of the things I focused on was detecting a filament. Please do look up.
Yeah, no, we'll check it out. What is a
If
filament?
you're
Yeah,
curious.
yeah.
So some of filamentary gas and other structures, we don't have the ability to directly detect them. So we use indirect methods. So that was one goal of my research, to use indirect methods, like using the shapes of the radio galaxies to try and find those invisible structures, because they're invisible. We can't directly detect them, right? To try and find them. So when the radio galaxy, let's just say a galaxy. It's a galaxy, but we detect it in radio wavelength. Hence radio galaxy. So when a radio galaxy or any galaxy, when they interact with the environment, they both influence each other. The environment will influence the galaxy, the shape of it, the properties of it, and the galaxy will also influence the environment. Right? So the idea here is that we can see the effects of what's there in the environment in the shape of the galaxy, the effects from the interaction. So now we use those shapes of the galaxies to try and find this invisible structure, looking at the shape of the galaxies. And that's what I did for my master's research. I used the shapes of those radio galaxies to try and find invisible structures, which included filaments. And finding radio galaxies in filaments, it's a rare thing in astronomy. So that kind of made it more special to say, okay, I can actually go on and find those structures that are not easy to find, that we can directly detect. And that is important. Why? Because in the large scale structure, right, we have the structure is made up of something called the cosmic web, right? So the filament is like, like a spider web.
Yeah.
The filament is like those spider webs, and then they connect
Okay.
clusters
Yeah.
there, and there's galaxies in them. So now detecting these filaments through my work and other people through their work, that kind of completes the picture to say we have a filament wire and we don't have a filament wire, and get a better distribution of our universe, and also getting the estimates of the properties of those, like the density, how dense it is, what's the pressure there, of which I also used the same radio galaxy to estimate. It plays a role in understanding the bigger picture, right? So that's what my master's was about.
No wonder a lot of funding is being thrown your way, guys. No, you're doing big things. Like I can just tell that actually something new, something novel is being discovered. Like from what you're explaining. Yeah, there's a beautiful research. Like
Tsepo, you said,
Oh,
so
sorry.
no, you can go on.
And I'm just gonna draw back to when he asked what's the importance of machine learning, and so in my work I had 115 galaxy clusters. I mean, a cluster has like hundreds to thousands of galaxies, different of them, and I had 115 of those. You can imagine. And because I'm just starting, I don't have some machine learning algorithm sitting somewhere to find the sources for me, or at least and I didn't know anybody who does. I had to go through all 115 of them visually, trying to find my targets, and that was a pain. So so that is why I'm like, machine learning is important, it's necessary, because with that I would have easily found my targets, I would have easily found my sources, and just
Yeah.
but now I had to put a lot of strain in my eyes.
Nice. Now it's actually now that I'm realizing how these modules connect with one another. When she says cluster, what rings in my head, when I did statistics, we spoke about stratified clusters. Those are types of data that we classify them. So now I have an idea of what you mean by cluster. So he mentioned something about that's why many fundings are thrown your way. So what funding opportunities are there when you obviously most of us, we come from not good backgrounds. I don't have the funding to do my honors masters. So what are some of the funding opportunities that are there to study further your postgrad, master's, PhD for astrophysics?
Like he said, there's
There's a
a
lot.
lot.
Yeah.
Right, but
Yeah.
you can actually get funding from as early as first year, like I did. So we have Sereo, which is giving bursaries to undergraduate student from as early as your first year, and to postgraduate from honors all the way to postdoc. They have scholarships, they have funds for that. And we also have NASP, but NASP is only for honors and masters. So after you do your STEM and you want to do honors and you want to go into astro, but you don't have the funds, NASP is there. And they cover everything. They cover your accommodation, your tuition, and a bit of allowance for food and survival. And we also have SAO, which is also giving postgraduate scholarships. We also have like merit awards. You can get prizes from organizations like AFAS. And recently I saw an ad from Astronomical Society of what is it? It's ASA, Astronomical Society of the Southern Africa. And I hope I'm not wrong,
No, I
but
think
it's something
I'll check
along
it out.
those
I'll also
lines,
put a
right?
link for it on
Yeah,
the
it's ASA.
description.
It's
Yeah.
ASA though. At least the acronym I'm sure of.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they also offer scholarships for second and third year, all going up to honors, masters, all the way to a PhD. They also have scholarships. So scholarships are there, opportunities are there. You just need to make up your mind.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I have a question. Okay, in terms of competing worldwide, like what's the position of South Africa in the astronomy field?
In astronomy field. So, I mean, so with the building of Meerkat and SKA, we do have a Meerkat telescope in the Northern Cape, and the SKA. The building of the SKA is still be like in the process, right? But the building of the telescope it has put South Africa in the map. South Africa is now leading with radio astronomy specifically because those are radio telescopes, right? So those telescopes have put us in a map with both science and engineering because they recruited South African engineers to build the telescope, right? Idea behind the whole movement was to motivate and us South Africans and to improve science and engineering and the numbers of South African astrophysicists and engineers that are out there. And that kind of put South African engineers, engineering and science, our ability to do science up there in the map because majority of the astrophysicists and students that are using the MICAT data are South African, right? So now, with our telescope being like it has the ability to detect very faint emission out there that other telescopes can't detect. Like we now have global collaborations. People from out there want to get access to the telescope, of course, and get the data there and use it for their own research. So South Africa is, in terms of radio astronomy, it's another place to be. It's yeah, and we've seen an increase in the number of people from outside South Africa coming to South Africa to do astronomy. That's because astronomy here has taken its stand globally.
Wait, so SKA is it what the name of a telescope?
Yeah, the square kilometer
And
area.
also I think there's another one called what Meerkat
Meerkat.
or
Yes.
Meerkat.
Meerkat.
Okay.
So have you gotten an opportunity of visiting any of them?
I did.
You did.
How was the experience? How
I
was
did this year. I did
Yeah.
this year in August during
Yeah.
the International Astronomical Union General Assembly.
Yeah.
I did get to go to Carnarvon and see Meerkat and the first telescope of SKA that they built there, even though it wasn't operational yet. But it was, I don't know, it was
I can already see I can already see the beauty. It was beautiful
it
experience,
was
right?
beautiful
Yeah.
experience, right?
Yeah.
It's it's you use this data from this telescope and it's respected, right? It's like the best telescope. It has this ability to detect things that have never been detected before. It's taking its place globally. It's now leading globally. And with the SKA, we expect that it will be the biggest, the largest telescope in radio telescope specifically in the world, right? With the ability with an unmatched, let me just say unmatched ability from any other radio telescope out there. So now you are using this data, and it's because of this telescope that I got that scholarship in first year, and it's because of this telescope that I'm here where I am today, and I finally get to see it come up.
Yeah, obviously. It's gonna blow your mind.
Exactly.
So I have this funny question, like what makes a telescope to be better? Like are they using certain lenses or something? Because I know in the case of microscopes, like a lens that is being used matters. How you position the stage, is it closer and so on and so on. So like what makes a telescope greater like?
Okay, so I think in our terms, the when we say a telescope is the best, it's when it allows us to detect more. If it gives us more information, rich information, that's when we say this is the best telescope because I mean, it's giving us all the info we need, right? Better information, more information.
I have this, I have this funny question right now. Because you guys have the best, do you ever detect some things that looks like zombies, zombies, or some funny things that
No,
don't
I
exist?
haven't heard of anybody who detected
Yeah.
something that looks like a
Okay.
zombie.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a research group called SETI. They're searching for any extraterrestrial life out there. I don't think they've detected anything that looks like a zombie, but they look into the signatures, like what you would expect under normal circumstances. And when they see something that's out of ordinary, they will question that is that possibly proof of life, but obviously they look to the specifics that kind of align with that, right? And I mean, no.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. So I can see you're very, very passionate about your field, and I really like that. For especially being women in science, being so passionate about astronomy, that is very beautiful. So where do you see yourself in like the next 5 years in your field? Specifically, are you going for your PhD? Are you looking for a job now that you submitted, you're going to be graduating soon, or it's just a matter of research, research, research?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I'm getting hooked.
Yeah, yeah, with research.
With research.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, coming to research initially, obviously, when you're young, you have ideas. You don't know exactly what's there until you get there, right? And then I thought research is just as simple as solving a math problem. Like, it's just curiosity. You get curious and then you look into this data, you try to find this answer, and you will find the answer,
Definitely.
right? And that's how I thought. But it's actually more than that. I've asked a lot of Njani, how, why, this year than ever before, right? And with the research that I was doing for my masters, there's still a lot of unanswered questions, right? There's still room for improvement. We're still working towards a bigger thing, right? Slowly but surely. So honestly, I want to see where we go with what is happening right now in terms of using radio galaxies to detect this invisible structures. I want to see how far we will go with that, how precise we will get this estimates, and what more can we do with this, right? And what other approaches will probably come up with in the next few years. So I think I definitely want to stay in astro. So I see myself still in radio astronomy in the next 5 years, probably doing postdoc though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good route actually to explore more in research. Postdoc is the
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Like I don't know. There's something that doesn't wanna leave without understanding certain things. But that's why I think I'm getting hooked. Because obviously after answering whatever question, there will be another question.
Yeah. And it's crazy that, every now and then I see postdoc in Astro. Why is that? Is it that there's not so many people in astrophysics? Because I always see posts for postdocs. Almost every 3 months when I check, like universities, they're advertising posts for postdoc in astro.
I will say it's okay. I think it actually connects back to not many people, because I was gonna say, like, with the recent uh, telescopes collecting all this data, we have a lot of data. There's a lot of data that's just sitting there and needs people to look at. So I mean, there will be opportunities for more people, for people to come and actually tackle that data, attend to that data. So we don't leave a lot of data unattended. We might miss important information from there. So, but yeah, I guess it kind of goes back to not so many people.
So would you say like someone who just come with a background of data science, they can survive in the space, in the moment, looking at the fact that you are strictly dealing with a lot of data, big data, and so on?
I mean that skill will come in handy for them, definitely. It will be, I would say, easier maybe for them to analyze data, do visualizations, etc. But obviously, if they want to be, say, astrophysicists, they will need to understand what the data says as well. So the data science skill itself will just help them with the coding part of the whole thing, and the visualization of data, the cleaning of data part of it. But at the end of the day, they will need to at least get an introductory course or some training in, so they can understand what they're looking at. But yeah, they do have the ability to.
Are there any
Do
new
well.
trends in the space that you're excited
Not specifically, but I would say what one thing that makes me excited, it's the machine learning. I mean, I really don't want to do what I just did for master's ever again, and I don't want anybody to do that.
Yeah.
So I think just the improvement in the machine learning algorithms, the AI, that should really come in handy for us, and it is slowly but surely growing. Data science in astronomy, and I'm happy for that. That's the one part that I'm excited for in astro. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the fact that you mentioned AI. You know, it's the new language these days. Everything's about AI.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, man. Tebo, do you have any other questions for?
Yes, yes. Okay, I know that you have a various leadership roles that you're taking. Just share with us some of them. It will be a mistake not to mention.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, right now, I only have one leadership role
Okay,
that
okay.
I'm taking. So I'm an coordinator of Astronomy and Astrophysics department for a student society called Blue Crane Space here at the University of Pretoria. And my role, I do have a partner. There's two coordinators because we are students, we we are busy, right? So it's important for they saw it important, which was a brilliant idea to have two coordinators. So when I'm unavailable, the other one can be there. And our role is to foresee the astronomy and astrophysics department of the society. That includes organizing events, that includes organizing trainings and running citizen science projects. So currently with Blue Crane Space, they have a project for astro research campaign that the members get involved in. It's a citizen science project. So citizen science projects are a way of bringing astronomy to the people in general. Anybody who's not, it can be a high school learner, university. If you just have interest in astro, but you don't want to be an astrophysicist, you can still get involved through the citizen science projects. And you can do this, some projects that do classifications. You can help with classifying galaxies, what type of galaxy it is. And you can do asteroid research like we do at Blue Crane Space. They try and detect asteroids. We actually have two confirmed asteroid discoveries in the society, which is exciting. Yes, which is very exciting. And we organize events like stargazing, talks, because obviously talks are important to let people know about. Most people don't know that we have astrophysics group here at UP, right? And then talks like that would be important to bring information to our members to say we actually do have an astrophysics group here at UP, and this is the kind of research it focuses on and things like that. And Blue Crane Space, it's a big society, I can say. Like, I respect the founders of the society. I'm happy they founded the society because it's a chance for you to go and enjoy science outside just your whole your research and your classes if you are doing undergrad, and you also get to learn things that you wouldn't learn if you're not taking astro for in case in class, right? And they have 7 departments actually. As much as I'm in charge of the astronomy and astrophysics department, they have math department, which is also just trying to just trying to improve the hands-on experience with math. They organize talks, they have fun days, they have engineering department that's currently trying to build a rocket. Yes, they're building a rocket.
Oh, Katlego. No, no. Actually, I would like to just thank you for coming. This has been an informative episode.
You know what? I feel like we didn't even say enough.
Actually, we haven't.
Yeah.
I
I
feel
still have
like
a
we
lot to
didn't-
ask,
there's a
like, but
lot,
then
yeah. Yeah.
otherwise, well, I hope to have you some other time again. Clinton,
No, thank you so much, Katli. Like, I really learned a lot. Thank you for taking your time to join us today. That was a very beautiful conversation. I think at some point I would like to hear more. You said you guys discovered two within your organization. So at some point we'd invite you back just to follow up on that. It would be good to have a sit down again just to learn more about astrophysics. And there's a lot to learn. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. This is SA Science Spotlight Podcast. Up until the next one, see you in 2025. Have a lovely, beautiful festive season. Stay safe. We out.
cheers. Let's take a picture of it.